June 27th. And any way you slice it, I'm going to dice it up for you. So today's topic is the good old presidential debate. I've got a little preview for you. A couple of cranky old men arguing with each other, but maybe not this time because part of the rules is the other person's mic will be turned off, allowing the other to speak, which which is good in a sense, right? We want to let the other person speak clearly if possible, because we know our good old friend Joe has a hard time putting sentences together. Although I will admit I'm not the best at myself, but um, I can form a coherent sentence and I can walk up the stairs. So it should be interesting what they're going to argue about today. We know, Biden will sling convicted felon at Trump, and then Trump will sling crooked Joe at Joe, and maybe make some other one-liners that'll be hilarious. Either way, um, it's being hosted by CNN. Good old Jake Tapper. When CNN hosts a debate, you know what side they're going to be leaning to. But if a Fox News host, like Sean Hannity hosted the debate, it would be leaning towards Trump as well. I think the big sham, the big, you know, problem with the debate that I have is that RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not being allowed in the debate. I think it'd be great if all three of them could be on stage together and answer questions for the American public that we want to hear. Unfortunately, after Ross Perot was involved in that debate in 1992, which I do remember, I don't remember all the facts and things that were said, but I do remember he was on the debate stage with George H.W. Bush and I want to say Clinton. It was 92. I want to say Clinton. So he was allowed on the debate stage as a businessman, and he did well because people wanted to change. But after that, the Republicans and the Democrats colluded to not allow any other third party candidates on the stage with them. So when you go fill out your ballot box, or if you're dead or someone's doing it for you, some illegal immigrants doing it and voting illegally. But if you're voting and you go vote for president, you'll notice there's other candidates on the ticket, not just two, not just a Republican and a Democrat. And there's candidates on the tickets you never even heard of. And that's a shame, right? So you have people running for president in this country from the Green Party, Independent Party, maybe a couple others I can't think of at the moment, but there's other candidates running, but they're only showing you two options, right? But in all actuality, they're both just one side of the coin and the other side of the coin. Now, however, I mean, we want to slice it with President Trump. He's definitely not like the rest of our former presidents for sure. He has his flaws. Um, the flaw that I would pick a bone with is how he handled COVID, locking down the country initially, and promoting warp speed. She hasn't completely admitted to it. With the vaccines being harmful, which some of you probably are aware now. Um, he hasn't really come full circle with that. Now, if he does come full circle and admit that he was wrong, which is not something he likes to do, you know, how he was played by Fauci. He could have been threatened in the background. You don't know that. These presidents, these people, they're start messing with intelligence agencies like the CIA. Maybe President Trump doesn't have any fear for his body. He could be assassinated at any time, right? That's in the cards at one point if it gets to that point. But when these three little agencies start threatening your family, then all of a sudden, like, I don't want my family to get hurt. And maybe he made some decisions based on that. We don't know. I'm not sure if we'll ever know. But to be honest with you, that is the one thing that I really have a an issue with how he ran his presidency back in the day. Because listen, anyone with a right mind knows that once before he was even elected, they were out to get him, which has been proven with the Russian dossier and Russia hoax, all this bullshit, right? Either you have Trump derangement syndrome and you can't see that, or you understand that, and then you know how corrupt this whole fucking system is. The system is completely broken. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we know Joe Biden is not running the goddamn country. Okay? If he was your grandfather, you would feel bad for him and you want him in a goddamn nursing home. Let's be straight up honest with that. The guy can't even move. The guy's shaking hands with nobody. He's falling down the stairs. He's eating ice cream. Sometimes he looks like he's shitting himself. He doesn't know where the fuck he is. Okay. The press won't even allow him to take any goddamn questions. The guy's hidden away. It is so disgusting. And anyone who's actually going out there to vote for him, either because of hatred for Trump, well, that's a goddamn problem. But if you're actually voting for this man, then you seriously are fucking part of this problem. There's no way to slice it. You are part of this problem, this country's problem. And you want to argue that Trump isn't a great person? That's not the argument here. Or you want to vote for the lesser of two evils? That's not the argument here. But we all know anyone who can try to listen to this guy who takes the time to listen to him. Sometimes people are just turned off right now with politics. It's been like that for very divisive, especially after COVID. This last election was very divisive, and people have their side, they pick their side, and they cling on to it, and they won't let go. Which is why I think it's very important. RFK Jr. gets on stage with them. Now, at least RFK Jr. he will go after Trump in regards to COVID. He'll go after Anthony Fauci, the criminal. He'll go after these people, and I don't think a lot of people want that. A lot of people want to see some form of justice of what happened, 4 years ago. Some people might forget now, but you know what? They locked you up. They fucking put goddamn masks on your kids, and maybe you were willing because you didn't know better. Okay, these are some goddamn issues that have really changed the psyche of the human race, especially in America, right? People really wanted their freedom. When they wanted freedom, they had to freaking escape to certain states, so they didn't have to wear a goddamn mask. I didn't want my kid or my child to wear a mask to go to school, so I took her out of school. I wasn't going to send my kid to fucking school with a goddamn mask on, a muzzle on, sign of slavery. We could go down the goddamn COVID rabbit hole, which pisses me off, but at least there's one person that will attack Trump on that, right? And that he needs to be held accountable for that. And he needs to come full circle on some of those decisions that he made. Now, granted, you can make the argument he didn't know. He didn't know this. He was doing for the best for the country. Well, guess what? He still did it. He still locked down the country initially, and he still introduced warp speed, which might go down history as a genocidal act. Which, at some point, don't worry, they'll turn that when the time is right. The media will kind of turn that, and they'll say, "Oh my God, look at all the people that have died, myocarditis, you know, people collapsing." Have you seen those videos? Have you seen those videos of athletes just dying on the field? News anchors falling over, keeling over. You know, that wasn't a vaccine. That is not a vaccine. They changed the goddamn definition. So I'm veering off here a little bit. I could tell I'm definitely passionate about, very pissed off about that whole situation, as you should be as well. But if we circle back to the presidential debate for tonight, what are they going to talk about? They're just going to shit on each other, and they're going to tell you why you shouldn't vote for the other person. He did this, he did that. I want to know what you're going to do for this country, what you are going to do. Now, one reason why a lot of people love Trump is because he's against the deep state, and he's going to call like he sees it. He's a showman. He's not like what we always had for years and years and years of presidents, right? He's going to tell you how it is. Sometimes he's hilarious on stage. Some people don't like that. He's not his cup. He's not your cup of tea. I understand that. He's not very presidential sometimes. But guess what? If there's ever a president that actually you thought actually loved America or wanted to do the right thing for the American citizen, he is the closest president that we've ever had, maybe since Reagan or JFK, which both of them got shot. So that's in the cards. Now, if you don't think there's something in play coming up, if you don't think something's possible to happen, that good old October surprise, if you think they're going to allow him to win without something happening, it could be a natural disaster, it could be terrorist attack, it could be war to suspend the election, they could roll out another freaking COVID epidemic. These people are in the shadows that they talk about the deep state, but even beyond that, like in the shadows, that just have unlimited funding to do whatever the hell they want, that really control the world in a sense, right? They've been These agencies have been, overthrowing governments and assassinating people all over the world for years. So these things are in play. But first, we have a debate tonight. Now, some people think that President Biden is not even going to run. This could be his swan song tonight. He could have a horrible, horrible performance tonight, and the Democratic Party says, you know what, we got to go another direction here because there's no way he's going to win. And anyone who actually thinks that he's going to win over President Trump, if you look at the numbers, but you look at the rallies, President Biden can't even fill up a goddamn high school gym. You go to these rallies here. I've never been to one, but President Trump's rallies still hold thousands of people, thousands, thousands. He just hasn't been allowed to really campaign that much due to all his goddamn court hearings, which we know lawfare has been a way to kind of keep him out of the spotlight, label him a freaking criminal, yada yada yada. But perhaps Biden, which Biden are we gonna get? Number one, but perhaps Biden is drugged up, and he freaking manages to do a great job, which I think is going to happen. I think they're going to drug him up so much he's going to be able to pull it off. Some of the rules are there's two breaks, I thought I heard, and then you're not going to see the candidates actually walk onto the stage because guy can't fucking walk. Okay, he can't even walk right. So they're going to go live, and they're both going to be sitting down, from what I understand. So if he pulls it off, which I think he will, and the media will say he did a great job, he won on debate, yada yada. He's able to call Trump a bunch of names, a criminal, convicted felon, 100 times. He pulls it off. He continues to run, or they have a body double up there, which is in play, right? These people with their masks and shit. You might think it sounds crazy, but guess what? There's a former CIA operative who's given interviews about wearing how the intelligence agency has the capabilities to wearing head masks all the way down to their neck, and you can't tell who it is. And she was the director of this department, and she actually went to go see, I think it was George H.W. Bush. She wore a mask, and she didn't he didn't know it was her. She pulled it right off, and that was 30 years ago, 30 something years ago. So the technology that they have, body doubles, someone wearing a mask to perform, you don't know. You just don't know how they're going to play it out, what they're really capable of. So there's that angle. He can get through it, continue on. The deep state can control him, puppet master. I don't know. Who knows? The guy's like 82, whatever, something like that. He's 78. I'm not even sure how old he is. He's fucking old. And and I know, an 82-year-old probably shouldn't be running this country. They're probably old and wise. Yeah, they have so much experience. But guess what? You need someone who's a little bit younger, has that energy and the fight, right? On the other side, if he doesn't perform well, if he falls on his face here tonight, Democratic Party is going to come out, roll out, and say what? What are they going to say? They're going to roll out and say we need someone else. They're going to roll out and say, you know what? This cognitive decline is just too bad. It's showing, and we need to run a different candidate. Now, they could play that, which could give them an opportunity to postpone an election because that's in play, always in play. Who would they run out? Who would they run out? Gavin Newsom? Would they run out Big Mike Obama? Which I think the latter. Big Mike, roll out Big Mike, and get all those, the women vote, the black vote, trans vote, trans vote, the trans vote, the trans vote, and then we have a crazy ass debate, right? Later on, who knows? But tonight should be entertaining. I hope you check it out. I'm gonna watch it for the entertainment value. I want to see if Biden falls in his face. I mean, more than likely we know how Trump's going to attack this for the most part. He's going to attack Biden's record, which has been awful, and there's plenty of holes in his record. But I want to hear what they have to say about what they're going to do for this country because that's what's really important. How are we going to move forward? Because this country, you and I both know pre-COVID, with President Trump. This country was on a great trajectory. The economy was doing great. Gasoline prices were down. America was respected. There were no wars going on that we were affiliated with for the most part there, right? And now, the world's on fire. The world is on fire, which is the way they love it, right? The people that are in power right now, the Democratic Party, they love the world on fire. Bombs, bombs, bullets, bombs, and banks. The good old Gerald Salente quote: "Bullets, bombs, and banks," and that's what's running the show here. So thank you for joining in. I do appreciate it. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to come on and give you my 2 cents about what occurred. Um, you know, well, no matter what happens tonight, no matter what happens tomorrow, the next day, you're still in control of your own destiny. Never forget that. Um, you have your one life. I want you to take advantage of it, enjoy it, but you're still gonna have to work hard because everything that you're gonna get out of life, you're gonna have to earn it. You're gonna have to earn it. It's not gonna be given to you. So thank you so much. Have a great day.